Now, the moon rules the sign of Cancer, and as I stated, the moon is in my first house. So this also points to issues with my mother that comes into play with my relationship, since the moon in Cancer can deal with your mother. So the way my mother raised me has influenced me in my relationships, or it's not so much about the way she raised me, but it's how I perceive our relationship. That has influenced how I approach my personal relationships to a great deal. With the moon being in Capricorn, which is in detriment since the moon rules Cancer, so the moon in Capricorn is really not a happy place for the moon. And since it rules my 7th house, this can deal with me feeling like my mother was not as nurturing as I felt that she should be. So in terms of my relationships, I seek nurturing through others or through my relationships. And on the flip side, I tend to nurture others or do the job that I feel like my mother didn't do with me. I provide that for other people. So that just shows you right there how my early home life, especially my relationship with my mother, greatly impacts how I approach my relationships. Now, before I understood my natal chart in full, this situation would often trip me up because, like I said, I was coming to relationships from a position of either wanting to nurture or be nurtured, and that typically is not a good motivation for being in a relationship with anyone. To try to improve your mother relationship or your nurturing relationship that you didn't receive when you were young, and try to replace that with your relationships in your adult life, oftentimes it's going to end up being disastrous. So we have to watch out for that potential. With all of us, usually our background, our childhood greatly impacts how we approach our relationships. So this is a prime example right here. This also shows that there's times where I might have to actually live with someone. And I happen to be living with someone right now just to be able to manage my expenses better. So not only have I provided homes for people in the past, people have provided me with homes as well. And this deals with my North Node being in Scorpio. In this lifetime, I am supposed to be joining up with others, consolidating with others, and allowing others to assist me while I assist them, and having basically a symbiotic relationship. That's hard for me to do because my South Node, you cannot see it here, but it's in my 4th house. My South Node is in Taurus, and Taurus is inclined to do everything on their own, to earn their own money, to be self-sufficient. So it's a struggle for me to have to rely on other people for help, but the older I get and the more understanding I achieve about my own self, the more easier it is. So that's just part 1 about relationship compatibility using astrology, and I use myself as an example. Part 2 is going to be a continuation of us examining my natal chart, and I'm also going to pull up a natal chart of a celebrity. I haven't thought of this person yet, but it'll come to me later today, and we're going to discuss how their chart deals with their relationship issues and whatnot. So stay tuned. I shall have another video posted very soon. Peace and blessings.